The Daily Trust editorial on Sunday wrote, in a space of just 2 days last week, 23 travelers heading to Kaduna were burnt alive in a commercial bus at Sabamburni, Sokoto State. No fewer than 15 worshippers killed as they prayed in a mosque at Baari village, Mashegu local government area of Niger State. And also a commissioner in the service of Katsina State, Dr. Rabi Nasser, was gruesomely murdered in his own house located at Fatima Shema quarters in Katsina City, while a housewife identified as Salamatu was killed as bandits abducted 6 others during a raid at Puri community in Kwali Area Council of Abuja. Welcome to Northern Nigeria, Chirka 2021, where life has seemingly lost its value under the president voted en masse 5 times by the same populace. In a swift reaction, the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration has described as lurid political journalism, an editorial criticizing the administration's handling of Nigeria's security situation. And now to give us some perspectives, we have in the studio Dr. Yahuza Ahmed Gezo to give us a security consultant to give us perspectives on this issue. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great pleasure. Good morning.
Well, let's begin by saying that assuming you've read the editorial titled "Life Has Lost Its Value" on the Buhari's watch, let's get your thoughts first around that editorial.
Well, I think it's not that I think the editorial have done justice to President Muhammad Buhari's government, and as far as I'm concerned, it's a fair assessment. It was so just, it was so elaborate, and it speaks a kind of guidance, a policy guidance to Buhari administration, not even to look at it in any perspective of political load or whatever as described by the response from the presidency. So as far as I'm concerned, the editorial made was really perfect, and it speaks to the language of what is happening. Because as she mentioned in the pre-presentation, or just before you asked the question, the review she made for a number of places that people were kidnapped. Even on the day when the commissioner was discovered, that was on Wednesday, he was assassinated on Wednesday. And on Thursday evening, when his guard, his mate, realized that he didn't see him coming out to the office, he now raised alarm when the ADC came to ask that we didn't see the commissioner in the office. So that was when it was realized that something is wrong, and they checked and realized that his corpse was lying down in a toilet after being assassinated. But that one aside, because that one has no relationship with banditry. We know there are issues. The security operatives are doing their work, so I don't want to go into any discussion on that. But as far as we are concerned, we believe sincerely and honestly it is a personal vendetta, and it is an assassination, and it has no relationship, no iota of relationship to do with banditry and other issues of insecurity that is hammering the northern part of the country. But on the same night, when his corpse was removed and taken to Federal Medical Center, Katsina, the same night the bandits arrived at Safana and they committed a lot of atrocities. Was it reported? Is it part of what you discussed now in your presentation? So there are many other couple of unreported pocket attacks that has been going on, not only in Niger, even in Kaduna, even in Zamfara, even in many other parts of Sokoto, and to some extent probably some part of the neighborhood of Kano, and probably some part of the neighborhood of even the Niger Republic between the border. Because these are a couple of activities of the bandits and those who carried arm. Either they are Fulani, either they are Gobirawa, either they are Yoruba. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's a syndicate.
Okay.
Because there are what is called Mbanga, who are now busy killing Fulani. So anybody who is found to be a Fulani man is going to be killed and assassinated, which I think we are creating a new problem that will provoke another trouble for Nigeria's security in the next 20 to 30 years.
Okay.
Because there is no community in Nigeria, no two tribes that have been together in the last 600 years without much conflict that only occur during the cultivation period in most cases, herders, farmers clashes, that is between Hausa and Fulani. But now, from what is happening, from what the government allowed to be in some of the states, or in almost all the affected states, where the so-called vigilante or the Mbanga, whatever name you give them, they normally go and assassinate Fulani, and whenever they see a Fulani man in a car, they remove him and slaughter him. To some extent, we have so many evidences in Bakuri local government, in Paskari local government, in Sabo local government, and even in some part of Zamfara, Sokoto, and other states. So we are creating a serious ethnic problem that will be provoked, or that will manifest in the later after 30 or 20 years or thereabouts.
Okay, the presidency has reacted to that editorial, saying the issue of insecurity is not just peculiar to Nigeria, but in other climes.
Accepted. But what is the mandate of the government? The mandate of the government, one of the key mandate of the government, as far as constitution is concerned, even though I'm not a legal person, I'm a security, intelligence, and investigation expert, so I have nothing to do with knowledge, to do with a background of a legal background. But from the perspective of what I have had, from the quotations made by the lawyers, those who are in the field, those who have the knowledge, those who have the practice, they have made mention that when a government cannot afford to protect life, property, and dignity and personality of the people, when the government failed to provide security and safety, you can even call that there is no government to some extent. So in a situation whereby now the issue is, you have Damuna in Zamfara state, you have what do you call him, Turji in Sokoto and Zamfara state, you have Dogo Gide in Sokoto, Niger, Zamfara, and part of Kebbi state, you have Adamu Aleru, you have many other of them who are commanders. You have some of the commanders that have been killed in the operations. So now the question is, this number of commanders, these commanders I mentioned, each and every one of them, there was a time they have given an ultimatum to the government, or they changed the authority, they took over the authority of the government, like that of this Turji. He took over the authority of the leadership, the mantle of the leadership of local government chairman of Shinkafi local government in Zamfara state, and part of Zurmi local government in Zamfara state, Isa, Sabambuni, part of Gorenyo and other Gobir area, as we have heard that the Gobir community leadership have written the president and also sent a note to even the United Nations, calling for coming to their aids, or rather they stand to be loyal and pay allegiance to Turji. So this have given three questions. It's three-dimensional questions or triangular questions. I cannot even call them dimensional. They are triangular because each of them stands on its own. So when you have a triangle, each one stand on its own. One, the sovereignty of Nigeria is in question. Two, respect, dignity of Nigeria in the faces of bilateral and regional organizations like Economic Community of West African States, like African Union, like European Union, or whatever you have, is putting Nigeria's sovereignty in question because of the activities of these guys I mentioned. And there are many others, not only in northern Nigeria. This is happening in some other part of the southern part of the country. So that is why even the protests we are not regional bigots. We are not ethno bigot, but rather we are nationalists. That is why we advocated and we made a clarion call asking the government to switch off its responsibility. Many northerners, we have the list of northern people that have been assassinated by south and southeastern people, the ESN and others. We have the list for those who were killed in January, February, up to December. So and we need that bloodshed to stop. Because we don't want to start. We don't want people in the northern part of the country to start killing anybody. Now we're not interested in that.
It's not like we do not have security forces on ground that are putting their lives on the line to make sure that safety and peace is maintained and all of that. Again, so in its response, the presidency says, look, we have a military that is on ground and they are doing their best, to make sure that we overcome this, but that they are overstretched, in discharging their responsibilities. They are now, virtually in every state and all of that, trying to ensure that there is safety and all of that. What would be your reaction to that?
I appreciate that. And I commend the effort and the contribution and the activities of the military and other security operatives. We know they are doing their best, but they are handcuffed. Why? Because they are not up to 18% of the requirements in terms of number. Many have been retiring, many are retiring by day. Many are being killed by day. Many have been ambushed and assassinated in the last 6 years of Muhammad Buhari administration. How many times have Muhammad Buhari administration made an employment of security personnel? What we are saying, look, we are advocate for peace, security and justice as well as good governance, and we believe that Nigeria is ours and Muhammad Buhari is part of Nigerians, and he has a tenure that will last in the maximum of next 1,000 days. If at all the number of days is up to 1,000, if at all it is up to 1,000. So when the tenure lapsed, definitely Muhammad Buhari and all the people around him will come back to the drawing board. They will be like me and like you. Who knows that either tomorrow you or her can be the president of this country? So what we are saying is, do what is right. We have huge number of unemployed, agile, patriotic, enthusiastic youth that are much available in all the areas and all the locations. So if Muhammad Buhari government is really serious and really have the concern, and it's a serious government, and it want to take its mantle of leadership of some sovereign state, because as far as I'm concerned, Nigeria's sovereignty is in question. For so many evidences I have highlighted and many others that time may not permit us. I'm coming. So if at all they want to do, what we are suggesting is, why can't they employ minimum of 40 per polling unit, 40 youths between the age of 17 to the age of 22 or 24. We have so many of them. Those who are educated, you train them in the institutions using the modern capacity and whatever. Those who are not educated, you take them, probably you teach them whatever, the same theology and the same strategy that was used during the pre-colonial administration and even during the colonial administration, and even the engagement during when the Biafra war was conducted. So if you have 10 political words and you engage 10 polling unit in a political ward, and you engage 40 per polling unit times 10, it will give you 400. And if you have 10 political words in the local government, multiply 400 times 10, it will give you 4,000. So if you have youth that are agile, they are even anxious. We have many of them that are anxious. They are qualified in terms of qualification. Some of them have NCE, some of them have HND, some of them are graduates, many of them are graduates. We have been producing graduates without creating a job for them. Okay. And they are ready to do it. Okay. So if you can take, let's assume that we know that we have 774 local governments in the country as Nigerian state. So let's assume that you take only 500. So 4,000 times 500, you distribute them into DSS, into Navy, into Army, into Air Force, into Custom, and all the security operatives, and see what will happen. Okay,
now let's take a look at this video, quite really very sad and emotional at the same time. The video went viral on social media, about a kidnapped victim, a lady, actually a mother, who was brutally raped, in the hands of these bandits, and the video went everywhere on social media. But take a look at it.
Let's also warn you that the video you're about to watch can be a bit emotionally disturbing, so viewer discretion is highly advised in this sense. Take a look.
I saw horror. Wallahi tallahi idan abu yana kama da yawm al-qiyamah. Allah ina gan shi when I was in captivity. I saw that. I saw horror. I still have nightmares, bad nightmares da sai an rike ni har yau har gobe akan horrors din da na gani. Akan horrors din da na gani. That's why I left Nigeria. That's why I'm here. But wallahi tallahi, if you have not been through what we've been through, a lot of us that have been in captivity and been raped multiple times by terrorists, you would not know. You would not know the pain. You would not know the agony. Nobody stood. Nobody believed me. Nobody said anything. Nobody helped me. No one. No one. And that's what's happening right now to our children. That's what's happening right now to our children. They're being killed. Nobody's believing them. Nobody's saying anything. I'm angry. Nobody's accepting any refugee from northern Nigeria. Nobody. I was raped. I was raped. I was raped by terrorists. I was raped. I was beaten. I still have marks on my arm. I know what's going on. I know the pain. I know the pain.
La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel.
Okay, you know, when I watched that video, I cried. I actually cried, and this actually puts a human face, you know, to the whole victimization of being.
I have seen worse scenario than this.
So when you talk about,
I've seen worse scenario than this in the course of investigation and research.
So
I have been to the field because I used to every 3 months I used to select minimum of 40 local governments in 7 states, combining of northeast, north central, northwest, and to some extent southern part of the country. So I used to go to the field, and I have seen worse than this.
Okay, so you know, one other area that the editorial of the Daily Trust captures is the seeming lack of empathy, you know, demonstrated by the presidency, the body language, you know, of the president towards, you know, these incidents of attack here and there. For instance, the most recent instance that many people are, you know, using is the fact that you just in the wake of an attack somewhere in Sokoto where a lot of people were burnt, the president was on his way somewhere in Lagos where he attended a book launch and all of that. So when you take that emotional angle, you know, to things, do you think that we're seeing enough body language to reassure Nigerians and to give them some sense of belonging or some kind of confidence that government really cares, you know, about what is going on?
You know, when you are talking about a government really care, or really government knows that there are other people beside the people within the cycle of the power. In Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned, I condemned Muhammadu Buhari and his administration in totality. And that's my stand. And it is my stand until the last breath, my last breath. I assess Muhammadu Buhari government in terms of concern about issues related to security, because people are being killed like ants, not only in the northern part of the country. We are not regional bigots. We believe, we are nationalists. We believe in nationalism. We believe in Nigeria's unity. So as far as I'm concerned, I really appreciate the author of the book, his response to Muhammadu Buhari during his own remark, whereby he made a statement that you apply for the job and you have the job, and I have no sympathy for you for what is happening. And yes, of course, that is something I have. Because go back to all the clips and all the campaign made by President Muhammadu Buhari. You promise providing security. You don't even care. Many people have been killed even around, remember when he received the abducted children of Kankara in his state, Kankara local government, that's the science secondary school, whatever. What was his statement? He was just giving them history, narrations. Is that what they want? And there are other number of killings that have been made. heavily. A lot of bloodshed have been made under Buhari administration. So definitely I believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish him for so doing, and will definitely punish him, because no single responsible Nigerian will forgive him. I will never forgive him. I will say it, and I'm repeating myself, that I will never forgive him, because he has no sympathy whatsoever, no concern as far as the bloodshed in northern Nigeria is concerned. The bloodshed, the killing of innocent, the killing, many people are being killed and assassinated silently in southern part of the country, many of the northerners. And why? It is simply because of his inability to have a coordination mechanism.
All right, let's look at solutions. Let's look at, you know, how to really come of this. You know, one of the issues is, some are saying, look, there are other non-violent ways of dealing with this issue. So the president says, well, we are also focusing on treating or solving the problem at its core, talking about, you know, massive infrastructure. So they cited the projects like the coastal rail and new train from the southern coast through the northeast to neighboring Niger. You know, the aim is to expand employment and, you know, create job opportunities, you know, across the country and all of that. How efficient would you say that?
You know, in Hausa language, we normally say that that is a kind of something to laugh on when a child pick a teeth on the street. That he went to a child of maybe a child of less than 1 year that is not up to pick a teeth on the street. So, as far as I'm concerned, I became more disappointed when a government, really a serious government that Nigerians elected and suffered to have elected, going by his instruction, Akasa, Azari, Araka, Ajira, do one day taba kuhalakash, that you should cast your vote, wait at the polling unit, escort the result, and whosoever touch it, kill him. That is instruction. But when he was making his campaign, I have a clip. If you want it, I can play it. I can share it with you. You can play it on there. Everybody can see it. It's not something new. But despite this instruction, despite whatever all the sufferings, many people trekked for very long places. Many marriages, many couples got divorced, because maybe the husband like Buhari and the wife doesn't like Buhari, and many parents send their children away because they don't like, they don't want to vote for Buhari, and many other neighbors had grievances and a lot of enmity, unsolved enmities up till today between neighborhood. But yet, the promises, the empty promises made by Buhari administration wasn't fulfilled in any way.
It's sad.
You promised to provide security. The security issue is zero. We are seeing worse than what it was before you come to the power. You promised to have employment. We are seeing vacancies available, because a large number of people every day are leaving the service, either by death or by age. Either by age or by the age of 35 years in service. Daily people are leaving. You say you put embargo, and even the employment, we have seen non-transparent employment your government is doing, whereby it is only those who have what is called long leg, or those who have the long hands with a lot of pepper and other ingredients that are getting the right color. And we have a lot of other applicants, qualified applicants, who are not getting the job. So how can we forgive
wrap up the discussion here, Doctor? Thank you so much.
Buhari administration is a failure. It's an absolute failure.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me. I have my reasons.
This is entirely our guest's opinion and not that of the Daily Trust.
Absolutely. And it remains my opinion.
Thank you so much for coming. We look forward to having you on the program to share your thoughts.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great pleasure.